up, guys? We are here in beautiful Southern California. As you can see behind me, some nice mountain roads. I had the opportunity to take out a 2018 Camaro ZL1 1LE, so just wanted to show you guys a little bit around the car and show you some track driving with it, and give you a little bit of my impressions on the car overall. So yeah, I mean, the thing on track, that's what it was meant for, to be a track beast, is pretty damn impressive. I'm a big American car critic. I've always had like Japanese cars or German cars or whatever, so never really been a big fan of American cars, but I will have to give credit where credit is due. GM did a great job with this car. The interior is actually really nice. They put Alcantara in a lot of places, really gave it more of a premium feel. Really nice to see that for a change. And the car is an absolute monster on the track. Big Brembo brakes all the way around. As you can see, the factory arrow on the car actually does create a little bit of downforce. So very impressive to drive on track. They definitely did a great job. The Multimatic dampers on it are fantastic. A little bit rough on the street, but you know, this is pretty much a track dedicated car. If you're buying it to be comfortable on the street, might not be the car for you, but the dampers on track really come alive, and they're just fantastic. So really a pleasure to drive, and I have to give them credit for all the engineering on the car. I did drive it a 20-minute session. We did have a ton of traffic during the hot lap session, but the car did fantastic, even with the stock brake pads, which some said might not be the best for track use. They held up great. 20-minute session, car temps were good. Wasn't too hot of a day, but yeah, overall the thing did absolutely amazingly. Super impressed. We do have a slightly different tire on the front. The original tires were corded on the inner edges from a little bit of toe out. So we were running the RE71Rs on there on the front, but it did give it a little bit of a push. I think the Goodyear is probably a little bit more of a grippy tire, but overall, you know, with the original tires, I would assume that little bit of understeer would probably go away. And you know, the understeer that it did have was definitely not intrusive. It wasn't annoying. I was still able to get the nose tucked in when we needed to. So overall, fantastic car. And if you're looking for a car for $70,000, if you're looking for a track car, I don't know if there's one that's going to be better out there, especially with a real manual transmission. So I'll show you guys some of the track driving now. So I hope you enjoy that, and thanks for watching. All right, guys, here we are out at ButtonWillow CW13. This is near Bakersfield, California. This car is equipped with the performance data recorder, so that's where this video comes from. Really cool feature of the ZL1. Definitely something, if you're going to take your car to the track, that you want to look for if you're going to be getting one of these. So again, like I said, we didn't really get too many clear laps, or we weren't able to push super hard during this session. I got a basic feel for the car, which you'll be able to see here. This car barely has 2,000 miles on it, so with respect to the owner, JayzTwoCents, we kept the traction control and stability control on the track and race mode. So you know, I didn't want to give him too much of a heart attack during the time on track here, but this actually lets you get away with quite a bit for an average person. So we were able to still get the car to rotate freely and go around the track pretty well with it. But yeah, so enjoy these couple laps here, and if you want to stick around after, I'll give a little bit more of my input on the car. So thanks.
pressure. Yeah.
Alright, back at the shop now. Had a little bit of time to reflect. Hopefully you liked those laps. There was a ton of traffic, like I had mentioned before, so couldn't really get a solid lap out of it like I would have liked, but we got down into 158, which I think with no traffic, that car should easily do in the low 150 range there. It's kind of unfortunate, but that's the way it goes with track days. You know, sometimes there are too many cars on track and the level of drivers vary quite a bit. Driving that car, the closest thing that I have a lot of experience with to compare it to would be a GTR. You know, GTR is a similar weight. Most people who have a GTR, they have bolt-ons. You know, it's probably similar horsepower. Very similar in ways, but quite different. The ZL1 1LE is definitely like a sledgehammer. I mean, that thing, you just pound it into the brake zones, you transfer the weight. Nothing happens super fast in that car, but man, it does it with force. Like, I was actually moving around in the seat quite a bit. The brake zone, you know, trying to balance the pedal pressure, the amount of force that the car would actually make in the brake zones would kind of lift me out of the seat. So I probably should have had the seatbelt locked. It does have like a lock feature, but great job by the Multimatic guys, as always, setting up those shocks. In comparison, driving the GTR definitely takes a little bit more finesse. An analogy would be like, I used to race BMX. Still takes a lot of muscle to get around a BMX track, but you definitely have to have finesse to get through the rhythm. GTR kind of feels the same way. It still feels heavy, but I would say the GTR does transition a little bit better, and you tend to have the impression of less weight. You still have to muscle the car through the corners, but there's definitely a little bit more finesse to driving the GTR. The ZL1 is just smash it in there, let it take its set, and off you go. That's pretty much my basic driving impression of the car. Great car to drive. I would highly recommend it. Anybody who knows me is gonna be slightly frightened when I say this, but this is a Camaro that I actually like. So, you know, like I said in the beginning, I've always been kind of an American car critic, so to hear myself say those words is a little bit weird, but a good car is a good car, and this thing definitely gets it done. So that's gonna wrap this up. Hopefully you guys liked my initial impression of the ZL1 1LE. And if it is your first time stopping in, please don't forget to subscribe. Really helps us out. We do a lot of different build stuff. We do reviews like you just saw. We have some circle track stuff we do, road racing stuff. The S13 here that we do some drifting days with and just have fun with. So yeah, if you're into cars, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks again guys for watching, and we will see you in the next one.